If you're over 50 and you've been feeling like your body is slowly working against you, the aching joints, the blood sugar that won't behave, the bloating after every meal, the nights where you just can't sleep deeply anymore, I need you to stop scrolling right now. Because what I'm about to share with you today costs less than $1. It's already sitting in most American kitchens right now. And the science behind it, published in peer-reviewed journals that most doctors have never had time to read, is genuinely shocking. I'm not selling you anything. No supplements, no subscriptions, no sponsored products, just 2 tiny cloves every single morning. And what happens to your body when you make that one small change after the age of 50? Stay with me until the end of this video, because the most important part, the part about the 4 mistakes almost everyone over 50 makes with cloves, that's coming later. And if you miss it, you could actually make things worse instead of better. And if this video helps you, I'm going to ask you to do just one thing. Share it with someone you love who is over 50. It might be the most important thing you do for them this week. Let's get into it. Here's something that almost no doctor will sit down and explain to you during a 12-minute office visit. After the age of 50, your body enters what researchers are now calling a phase of accelerated biological aging. That sounds scary, but let me break it down simply. Because once you understand what's happening inside your body, the solution becomes obvious. Think of your body like a massive, complex factory that has been running 24 hours a day for over 5 decades. At 50, several departments of that factory start losing efficiency at the same time. Your pancreas produces less insulin, and the insulin it does produce becomes less effective at moving sugar out of your bloodstream. This is called insulin resistance. And according to the CDC, over 96 million American adults, that's more than 1 in 3, currently have prediabetes, and the vast majority of them don't even know it. Your joints lose synovial fluid, the natural lubricant that keeps them moving smoothly. The result is stiffness, inflammation, and chronic pain that most people just accept as part of getting older. Your digestive system slows down, enzyme production drops, the gut microbiome loses diversity, so that meal that never used to bother you, now it sits heavy, causes bloating, and disrupts your sleep. Your liver, which has been quietly filtering toxins, processing hormones, and managing your metabolism for half a century, starts showing signs of fatigue, sluggish metabolism, difficulty losing weight, brain fog. And underneath all of this, quietly fueling every single one of these problems, is something researchers call chronic low-grade inflammation. Scientists have even given it a name, inflammaging. It's the slow burn of your immune system attacking your own tissues year after year. Now here's what I want you to really understand. These are not just signs of aging. They are signals. Signals that your body is sending you every single day, asking for specific support. And for thousands of years, across dozens of civilizations, one of the most powerful answers to those signals was found in a tiny dried flower bud, the clove. Cloves, Syzygium aromaticum, have been used medicinally for over 2,000 years. Ancient Chinese physicians prescribed them for digestive disorders. Medieval European doctors used them as pain relievers. And long before pharmaceutical companies existed, cloves were literally worth their weight in gold in the spice trade. But here's what's different now. We finally know exactly why they work. The primary active compound in cloves is a polyphenol called eugenol. And eugenol is, without exaggeration, one of the most pharmacologically powerful natural compounds ever studied. Let me give you the science. But I'm going to keep it simple because I want you to actually use this information. First, eugenol is a potent COX-2 inhibitor. COX-2 is the enzyme your body uses to produce inflammatory compounds called prostaglandins. When COX-2 is overactive, which it is in virtually every American over 50 with chronic pain or metabolic dysfunction, your body stays in a constant state of low-level inflammation. Eugenol dials that enzyme down. It's the same mechanism used by ibuprofen and other NSAIDs, except eugenol does it without damaging your stomach lining. Second, eugenol acts as an insulin mimetic. That means it can help your cells absorb glucose from your bloodstream even when your body's own insulin is losing efficiency. A study published in the journal Nutrients found that consuming between 1 and 3 grams of clove powder daily for 30 days reduced fasting blood glucose levels by an average of 29% in participants with prediabetes. 29%, without a single pharmaceutical drug. Third, cloves contain the highest antioxidant concentration of any food ever measured by the USDA. The ORAC score, that's the scale used to measure antioxidant power, puts cloves at over 290,000 units per 100 grams. For comparison, blueberries, which most Americans already think of as a superfood, score around 9,600. Cloves score 30 times higher. Fourth, cloves contain significant concentrations of manganese, vitamin K, beta-caryophyllene, gallic acid, and a broad spectrum of flavonoids that work together synergistically to protect your pancreas, liver, heart, gut lining, and joints simultaneously. But here's the point almost no one talks about. All of these benefits depend on one thing: how you use the cloves. And I'm going to show you the exact method later in this video. First, let me tell you about Linda. Linda is 55 years old. She lives in Austin, Texas. For 3 years, she had been managing what her doctor called borderline type 2 diabetes. Her fasting glucose was consistently between 115 and 122 mg/dL. Her A1C was hovering at 6.1%. Her doctor told her she had about 6 months before she'd need to start medication. Linda didn't want that. Not yet. She started researching natural interventions, not as a replacement for medicine, but as a serious attempt to turn things around before pharmaceuticals became necessary. She came across the research on eugenol and blood sugar regulation. She started with a simple protocol: 2 whole cloves, chewed slowly every morning on an empty stomach, followed by a glass of warm water. She waited 20 minutes before eating breakfast. She did this every single day for 60 days. At her next appointment, her fasting glucose was 97 mg/dL. Her A1C had dropped to 5.7%. Her doctor asked her what she had changed. She pulled out a small glass jar of cloves from her purse. I'm not saying cloves cured Linda's prediabetes. I'm saying that a simple, consistent, evidence-based habit helped her body do what it was already designed to do: regulate itself, once it got the right support. Now, before I show you the right way to use cloves, I need to tell you about the 4 mistakes that cause most people to get 0 results. And if you're already using cloves in some form, one of these might explain why you haven't noticed a difference. Mistake number 1, using stale or low-quality cloves. Eugenol is a volatile compound. It evaporates. A jar of ground cloves that has been sitting open in your spice cabinet for 6 months has already lost a significant portion of its active compounds. If your cloves have lost their strong, sharp smell, they have lost most of their therapeutic power. Always use whole cloves of high quality, purchased from a reputable source, or grind them fresh from whole cloves right before use. Smell should be intense. If it isn't, replace them. Mistake number 2, taking cloves on a full stomach. For maximum bioavailability, which is the medical word for how much of something your body actually absorbs and uses, cloves need to be consumed on an empty stomach. When you take them with or after a heavy meal, the digestive process dilutes their active compounds before they can be properly absorbed. Morning, before breakfast, is the optimal window. Mistake number 3, using too much. This is a critical one for American audiences especially, because we tend to believe that if a little is good, more must be better. It is not. 2 to 3 whole cloves per day is the optimal therapeutic dose for adults over 50. High doses of clove oil or excessive clove consumption have been documented to cause liver stress and gastric irritation. More is not better. Consistency is better. Mistake number 4, expecting overnight results. Eugenol and the other bioactive compounds in cloves work through cumulative systemic pathways. You are not treating a symptom. You're gradually changing your body's inflammatory baseline, insulin sensitivity, and gut environment. This takes time. Most people who stick with a protocol report noticeable changes between weeks 3 and 6. If you quit after 10 days because you didn't feel anything, you quit right before the compound effect would have started showing up. Let me tell you about Michael. Michael is 62 years old. He lives in Tampa, Florida. He's a retired firefighter. And for the last 7 years, he's been living with osteoarthritis in both knees, the kind of pain that wakes you up at night, makes it hard to climb stairs, and slowly takes away the activities you love. Michael was taking ibuprofen almost daily. His gastroenterologist warned him that the chronic NSAID use was damaging his stomach lining and could eventually cause ulcers. He needed an alternative. A friend showed him a study on eugenol's anti-inflammatory properties. Michael was skeptical. He was a firefighter, not someone who put much faith in home remedies, but the research was real, published in peer-reviewed journals, and the mechanism made biological sense to him. He started a protocol: 2 whole cloves chewed every morning on an empty stomach, plus a warm clove tea in the evenings. 4 cloves simmered in 2 cups of water for 10 minutes, strained and consumed before bed. He also applied diluted clove essential oil, 3 drops in a tablespoon of coconut oil, to his knees twice a day. At 6 weeks, he reported a 35% reduction in baseline knee pain on his own scale. At 12 weeks, his inflammation markers told the story more clearly. His C-reactive protein, a key marker of systemic inflammation, had dropped from 5.1 to 2.3 mg/L. He was able to reduce his ibuprofen from daily to occasional use. His gastroenterologist at his next visit noted that his stomach lining had actually started recovering. Michael still uses cloves every single morning. He calls it the cheapest medicine I've ever taken. Now I'm going to tell you the right way to use cloves if you are over 50. This is the protocol that is most consistent with the published research, and the one I recommend most often. Step 1. Sourcing. Buy whole cloves, not pre-ground. Look for dark brown, plump, intact cloves with a strong, intense aroma. Avoid anything that smells weak or dusty. Store them in an airtight glass jar away from heat and light. Ceylon cinnamon and cloves are often sold together. This combination is worth knowing about, and I'll explain why in a moment. Step 2. The morning protocol. Every morning before eating or drinking anything other than water, take 2 whole cloves, place them in your mouth, and chew slowly for 1 to 2 minutes. This releases the eugenol oil directly into contact with your oral mucosa and begins absorption even before you swallow. Follow immediately with 8 ounces of warm water, then wait at least 20 minutes before breakfast. Step 3. The power combination. If you want to dramatically amplify the blood sugar benefits of cloves, add half a teaspoon of Ceylon cinnamon, not cassia cinnamon, which is the common American grocery store variety, but true Ceylon cinnamon, to your warm morning water. A study published in the Journal of Diabetes, Science, and Technology found that the combination of cloves and Ceylon cinnamon produces a synergistic effect on glucose regulation that is measurably superior to either compound alone. This 2-ingredient morning ritual, 2 cloves chewed plus Ceylon cinnamon water, takes less than 3 minutes and costs pennies per day. Step 4. Clove tea for the evenings. If you have digestive discomfort, reflux, or bloating, add an evening clove tea to your routine. Simmer 4 whole cloves in 2 cups of water for 10 minutes. Strain. Drink warm 30 minutes before bed. This supports overnight gut repair and can significantly improve sleep quality over time. Step 5. Topical application for joint pain. For arthritis or joint inflammation, dilute 3 drops of high-quality clove essential oil in 1 tablespoon of a carrier oil. Coconut, almond, or jojoba all work well. Massage into the affected joints using slow circular motions for 5 minutes. The eugenol penetrates the skin and acts as a localized anti-inflammatory and analgesic. Do this morning and evening. This is the complete protocol. It is simple, it is affordable, and it is backed by real science. But I need to be direct with you about 3 things that will completely block your results, no matter how consistently you use cloves. I call these the 3 enemies of your health after 50. Enemy number 1, processed sugar and refined carbohydrates. Here's the brutal truth. If you chew your 2 cloves every morning and then sit down to a breakfast of white toast, orange juice from a carton, and sugary cereal, you have just lit a match and immediately blown it out. The insulin spike from that breakfast will override everything the cloves were building. The inflammation that breakfast promotes will undo the anti-inflammatory work of the eugenol. You don't need a perfect diet, but you need a breakfast that doesn't fight your biology. Eggs, avocado, Greek yogurt, nuts, berries, protein, and healthy fat. That's the foundation. Enemy number 2, chronic stress. Cortisol, your primary stress hormone, directly raises blood glucose and promotes systemic inflammation. This is a fact of physiology, not a motivational poster. If you are living in a constant state of stress, your cortisol is keeping your blood sugar elevated, your immune system dysregulated, and your inflammation high, regardless of what supplements or foods you consume. Cloves are not a stress solution. You need real stress management tools, a 20-minute walk, 10 minutes of deep breathing before bed, reducing screen time in the evening. These are not luxuries after 50. They are biological necessities. Enemy number 3, physical inactivity. Skeletal muscle is the largest glucose-consuming organ in the human body. When you walk, when you move, when you use your muscles, they act like a sponge for blood sugar, pulling glucose out of your bloodstream without needing insulin. This is one of the most powerful natural mechanisms for blood sugar regulation that exists. 30 minutes of walking per day. That is all. You do not need a gym. You do not need expensive equipment. You need to move your body for 30 minutes every day. Combined with the Clove protocol, this single habit amplifies your results by a magnitude that no pill can replicate. The cloves work, but they work inside a system. And if the system is fighting you, the cloves can only do so much.